Hey friends, Andrea here. This is going to be a card for Mother's Day, and I'm using a new stamp set. It's new to me anyway. It is made by, let's see what it's called. It's made by Quellum, and it's called, let me just double check this. It's called Words Just for You. Words Just for You by Quellum, Kwellam. And I'll get a little piece of cardstock here just so you can kind of see. So I'm going to be using this stamp set, and I've pulled that Happy Mother's Day sentiment out. And this is something that I got as a birthday gift. So I wanted to kind of review and also make a card with it for you guys to see. So I pressed that down onto my acrylic block. So for today's card, the items that I'm going to be using, I just kind of wanted to lay it all out here so you guys could see what I need, what you'll need to make this card if you wanted to recreate it. I've got a sheet of paper here that is 5¼ by 8½ long, and I'm going to fold that in half to get an A2 sized card, which is I think it's 4¼ by 5½ So I'm going to be, I have a couple of these just extras, so I'm going to be needing that. To stamp my image, I have a little scrap of white cardstock that I pulled out. I usually keep all my little pieces that I cut out and keep them in an envelope, and then I just pull them out when I need a little piece of white to stamp on. So this will perfectly fit my stamp. And then I have a couple of scraps of black and a couple of scraps, a strip of orange here that I can use as mats behind my stamped image if I need to. And I'll be able to trim those down with my paper trimmer or my scissors or my X-Acto knife if I need to. I also have some ink here. This is VersaFine Onyx Black pigment ink. And to glue, I have my advanced tape glider, and I have my Tombow Mono dot adhesive. This is my favorite adhesive. So in addition to that, for decoration, I've got some washi tape in orange and green. This is Scotch brand washi tape, and I really like this brand of glitter washi. And then I have some stickles in the color Stardust, and this is just a glitter glue with a fine tip. So I'm going to move everything aside here and get started with the card, and that way you guys can kind of follow along. So I'm going to just kind of do this all in real time, no speeding anything up, and just walk you through what my steps are. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and fold over my card base. Oh, I guess I should mention, if you're going to make your own card bases and you're not starting with a pre-made card base, you may need to get a bone folder, but you could also use like the side of a pen or even just your fingernail if you wanted to. But I prefer to use a bone folder. So I'm going to get that. There we go. So one card base done. And then I'm going to put that aside. And I've got my stamp already attached. And I actually did test it out once to see how the image turned out, and it turned out pretty good. I'm just kind of wiping it off because I used a baby wipe to clean it, and sometimes it leaves little fibers here behind. So I'm just kind of checking to make sure there's no fibers on it that will distort my image. And I also have a cat, which, that's a factor. One thing I didn't mention, and that I will mention now, is that when I'm stamping and I'm not using my MISTI tool, I like to bring in a little piece of craft foam to stamp on top of. So just doing that here. Oops, and I've already got ink on my finger. And this is why I use the wet wipes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ink up my Happy Mother's Day image. And I'm going to try to center it here and stamp it. And I think I'm going to try and stamp it twice, just if I can get 2 stamps out of this little sheet, I would like to. It's a little crooked, so I'll try again. That doesn't mean I'm going to throw it out. I'll still probably use it because I'm not an ultra perfectionist. But let's see if I can get a better impression over here. And to stabilize it, I think I'm going to just put my fingers on top so that I can apply an even pressure. That turned out way better. So I'm happy with that. I'll set my stamp aside. And so, like I said, I did stamp this once before just to test out the stamp. But that is a very clean and even stamp. So I'm happy with that. Even this one is pretty clean. It's just that I kind of tipped it a little bit when I was stamping it. So I got just a hair off with my stamp. So I'll go ahead and trim that down. I'll move my little piece of craft foam out of the way. And I'm just going to trim off the one that I don't want to use. And I'm making a note of the width here. It's just let's see, how long is that? 1 5/8, I think is what that is. 1 5/8 by I don't know, just a little under 1 1/2 looks like. So that's what I'll use to trim my base down. Oh, it might fit. Just a tiny little border there on that piece. If I was to use this orange, I could trim this down a little bit and get a slightly bigger border. So it's up to you what you want to do. And then for paper, I'm going to be using this, just a cute, really brightly colored floral print paper that I cut down from a 12 by 12. So I think what I'm going to do to start with is just glue this down, and then I'll figure out my assembly. I'm just going to keep it really simple. Oops, this isn't going. And I'm just kind of doing this tape all the way around the edge. All right. And then I'll go ahead and place it down. It's not perfect. It's okay. Never is. So I guess I have to decide whether I want a really narrow border all the way around and place it down here, or a slightly wider orange border. And I think I'm going to do the black with the narrow border just to use up the scrap, to be honest with you. So I will go ahead and use my smaller tape runner. I feel like just using this one for such tiny items is better, because on when I use the ATG gun, it is so large, it's really hard to get into those narrow areas with accuracy. So pretty good, I think. And I'll go ahead and trim this down. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do it about there. So I went and gave it just a, I don't even know what that would be like, 1/16 of an inch border. So super narrow. And before I go ahead and glue this down onto my card, I do want to apply my washi. Now I have to decide if I want the orange or the green here. And I think I want to use the orange. I have more of it and I need to use it up. So my little tip for this, to get a perfectly even strip of washi, is first of all, I'm going to tape it down about there. I'm just taping it along this line on my craft mat, and then I'm going to bring my card down here and find where I want to trim it with my X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to go ahead right here where the line is on my craft mat and cut this part off because I'm not going to need that. And then let's do, so I don't want this washi to go past this piece at the end here, so I'm just going to align my beginning of my card mat and find the end and just kind of cut through the washi right where the end is, and that makes a nice clean cut, and it will make sure that when I go to apply it, it's not going to be in a weird place. I guess it won't end sort of off the edge, and it'll fit perfectly. And then I align my card with the lines on my craft mat to place it down, and I'm just kind of following this line right here at the 17-inch mark. So, and I apologize for the sniffling, it's allergy season, so I've been walking and hiking and getting all kinds of pollen and wildflowers up in there. Okay, so that's done. I'm happy with that. That's super cute, sparkly, very festive for Mother's Day. And then I think I want to put this down here. Because I'm putting this on top of the washi, I do want to go ahead and use this ATG gun because this glue is just a bit stronger for adherence. And instead of just doing the edges like I normally do, I'm also going to put some glue in the center just to keep it tight. Okay. When I'm putting it down, I'm just going to eyeball that the distance on each side is about the same, so that way it is placed and positioned in a way that is doesn't make it look sort of off kilter. And it's about in the center of this strip, but I wasn't intentionally trying to do that. Okay, so that's done, and now I'm going to get my my stickles, glitter glue, and I'm gonna put just like a little 3 dots at the bottom here, and then I kind of wanted to tie in the glitter here with the rest of the card because it kind of doesn't blend, I guess. So I'm gonna apply some little stickle dots around the empty white space of the card, and it's not that it needs it, it's just that I want to make it feel coordinated, like it's supposed to be going together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the 3 dots here at the bottom, if I can get it out. This is getting to the end of my little bottle here, so I'm just doing tiny little dots. I don't even think you can see that until I bring it up close. See? So really not a ton. And then I'm just going to go ahead and kind of sprinkle it in like almost unintentional, no particular pattern, but just to get some extra, I don't know, flair and make it feel more sparkly, more fun. So once I have that part done, and I just put my hand in, of course, but that's okay. I'll leave that mistake. Let's do here. Yeah, I think that is pretty good for maybe one here. I think that's good. I'm going to stop here with that. And since I made a mistake, or I kind of stuck my finger in this on that, and I just did it right there too. I'll redo that one, but I'm just going to touch it up a little bit. And it's okay if they're not all the same size glitter dots. So I'll bring this in so you can kind of get a better look at it. With the glitter kind of all over, it somehow ties it all together. I've tried doing it without the glitter and just having the washi, and it works okay for some papers, but in a paper like this where it has a lot of white space and it has sort of like a hand-sketched bright look, it sometimes doesn't work. It doesn't, even though this orange is almost the same brightness of that orange that's in the card, it feels off somehow. So anyway, that's my tip, just to kind of get things to connect and tie themselves together. So I feel like that's done, and I have some other cards here. I usually make things in batches, so I'll probably just make a second one of these since I have the cardstock and the mat and everything ready to go. I've already done one successfully, so I'll probably just make a second one. But I wanted you guys to see how simple and easy you can make a really cute card with just a single stamp, very little time, and most of the time that I was walking you through this in this video is kind of explaining my steps. If I hadn't stopped to explain my steps, you know, it would have been maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on how quickly I could assemble it. If I'm sort of like, okay, this is the pattern I want to go in, then I go in an assembly line, a bunch of cards. In that case, that gets done really quickly. And if I have my sentiments all stamped ahead of time, then the assembly line is even faster. So I'm probably going to make a few more of these, like I said, and put some of these on my Buy Nothing group to give away to some of my neighbors. But I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm also really happy with that stamp set. So if you're interested in checking them out, it's on, I did get them as part of my Amazon wish list, and that is the brand KWELLAM, Quellem, Words Just For You. And I'm going to definitely test out that Happy Father's Day pretty soon here. And I also really like that thinking of you and the happy birthday sentiment, so I might try that out too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying my videos and the content that I'm creating. If you want to see more, please like and subscribe so that you can be informed whenever I upload new videos. Make sure you hit that bell so that you will be notified. And leave a comment if you have questions about anything I'm doing, or if you want to see more of specific techniques. But thank you so much. Bye.